might got the wrong glasses on because I can't see the comments. Came on today to just do a Q&A with y'all. I know I ain't been really engaging the page like I used to, so I want to, at least while I'm out, sitting outside, I could be answering some questions for everybody. If you have any questions, feel free to post them below. I'll answer them the best that I can, and if I can't, I'll just be able to find the answer for you at some point and send you over some information. So if you got any questions, feel free to comment below. Home care, obviously, assisted living, independent living, just business, general business questions, caregivers, clients, how we managing and growing under a pandemic, which is a blessing. This had me real worried in the beginning. I never faced anything like that before. Nobody has, in this generation. But, I was really paralyzed like the first week because I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to expect. And, I got my shit together, consulted some experts, listened to the scientists, listened to the people who, the smartest people I had access to, and the smartest people online that I can search and see what the best direction for me to go as a business owner, and definitely with a client base that's the most vulnerable and who has the most scrutiny on them right now. So we can't make no mistakes. Like my biggest fear right now is sending a caregiver to somebody's house who's been exposed. Sending an exposed caregiver to someone's house that hasn't been exposed and who's been quarantined or, socially distancing. And my caregiver actually gives somebody COVID, a family, a client, or anybody that we, come in contact with. That's been like my biggest fear. So just doing everything we can, staying in close communication with the caregivers, making sure they checking their temperatures often, daily, washing their hands, PPE, masks, face covers, socially distance on their off time. You can't control it, but you just got to have a real good relationship and a lot of trust with your clients. With your caregivers, because they're the ones on the front line. I'm not going in nobody's house, so they're tasked with that to continue to march forward, and we got to celebrate them for that, and we got to support them. So that's a big thing for me right now, and anybody that's in this business understands that there's also been a mandate from our state that all the assisted living facilities we get priority testing. So the people that are in my properties all have to get tested. Thank God we haven't found, it hasn't been anybody in my organization, period. Caregiver, clients, family members, like personal family and or client, business family members. Anybody I've been in contact with, I've been blessed up until this point, and I'm not under no kind of what's the word I want to say? Disillusion that any day somebody can get it close to me, or even I can get it. So I maintain that kind of mindset, and I push that to the people who listen to me, who work for me and things like that. Because at any given moment, if you make a mistake and surround yourself or go into the vicinity of somebody who's potentially exposed, you're risking a lot of things, a lot of people, your children, your co-workers, your clients, if you in a business or any business. So you just gotta remain diligent and expect this to be the new normal. I don't think a lot of people say, when the COVID gonna end? It ain't gonna end. This is what it is. So prepare for living like this for the foreseeable future. You're gonna have to stay socially distant. When you get on planes, you're gonna have to wear face covers. You're gonna have to, be rigorous about washing your hands and who you surround yourself with, and the type of events you attend. Like, it ain't gonna change. And I feel like COVID is just like it's just like the beginning of these type of viruses and pandemics, or whatever you want to call them. They're not going to get better. They're going to get worse. The population, we too connected as a people. As humanity is too connected. We travel too much. I was on my way to Thailand like weeks before this shit came. I was in Puerto Rico when they started locking shit down, so I had to rush home before I didn't get stuck in Puerto Rico. So it's a lot of things you got to think about, but understand that this is not going to go anywhere. Don't be sitting around in your house like, oh, when the COVID over, I'm gonna get on it. No, you got to get on it. You just got to adjust to the new norms, because this shit ain't going nowhere. They can't control it. You can't control that kind of stuff. No matter how, people have to end up going back to work. People have to make money. The economy must move forward. It's just going to be some new norms in place. I'm probably never sending my kids back to school. I can't even imagine sending them back to school. They're getting homeschooled from right now until at least they get a vaccine for this. And that's 18 months from when they started. So that's my little COVID-19 spiel. Hopefully you guys get something from that and take heed, but also don't use that as no excuse not to get to it, because we still getting clients. We consultations. We still going out meeting with families, going in the house. All the family members got masks on. We got masks on. My staff has masks on, and that's just the new norm. We not all, used to be shaking hands, hugging, and being all that. We sit on the other side of the living room. We're maintaining socially distant, but we still being able to take care and conduct business. The beauty and luxury of home care and assisted living, and anything that relates to seniors care, it's essential. So I'm blessed, and anybody who's pursuing this industry should be excited that you're an essential business. You know what I mean? Like they're not gonna shut you down. They need you. They need us more than ever now. Things are changing. I've been struggling finding caregivers, but we finding them. We doing interviews. We doing Skype interviews. I'm doing things I used to do. Like, I didn't post on Craigslist. I had stopped posting on Craigslist for a while. But now I have to go back to it. I'm, doing spending a lot more money on Indeed than I used to have to find caregivers for specific cases. We testing out. We got mycnajobs.com. That we trying to we testing that out for a couple months to see if it's worth it. That's a subscription based program that helps you find CNAs. So yeah, that's how I've been feeling. That's what we've been doing, and that's really been my focus. Like I said in the very beginning, I was paralyzed, but I knew, like, if I don't figure it out, everybody looking to me, so I gotta figure it out. I can't, I gotta go to the internet. I gotta reach out to other mentors and people in the industry who have more experience, not necessarily with COVID, but just experience in general, who've been around longer and know how to, who are adjusting and getting the proper information. But yeah, Victoria said, hold on, I'm gonna start answering some questions real quick. Hello, what training do you do with incoming staff for non-medical home health care? There's a couple different trainings. We hooked up with the Institute of Professional Care Education. That's an online training program that we put all our caregivers through. once they sign up, we expect them to have at least 5 years. We hope to have at least 5 years. Some of this shit gonna change because new people are getting into the industry, but ideally we would want somebody with at least 5 years of experience, have a CNA license and stuff like that, and been in the field for a while. So and then they'll depending on how urgent the shift is and when they're coming on, when they're going on board, if we can get them up under another caregiver for a few days just to see how we work and some of the things that we're doing on a day-to-day basis. These are some of the things we were doing, but now you got to realize most of we're not at this point. When it comes to like training, you got to start thinking virtual. You got to think anytime, everything that we were doing where we could do one-on-one or like send people to other people's houses, you want to limit the amount of exposure that you're putting your caregivers in with, or limit their exposure, and definitely limit your clients and residents exposure. So I don't want to send a caregiver to another house to train with a caregiver that we already have, because I don't want to you don't want to keep making those risks. Every time you send somebody somewhere, you risking that situation. Even though you hiring them, you just don't want to keep sending people into people's houses. And these families, as we've been, we had our company probably did like 5 or 6 consultations with new families looking for care, and the number one thing they was talking about, like, we don't want no whole bunch of people coming in and out. We want one caregiver or whatever. And a lot of people are asking for live-ins as well, because they like, I don't want them to leave. They can leave once in a while, but I want them to be like a permanent resident with us, and take care of our loved one. So the training is just, like I would say, just focus on virtual. There's other stuff out there besides the Institute of Professional Care Education, but I feel like they have the most content. Like, they have the biggest library that I didn't see online. They've been around for a while, and they're inexpensive. You could probably get 10 caregivers on that platform in training for about $100 per every 10. Well, I don't know now, because I haven't had to update any contracts or pay any, because they prices change. So we locked in at that rate, but they might have went up. But I don't feel like if they did, they didn't go up too much. You had another question. What's the best way to get cash flow in terms of guaranteed money and waivers? If I had that, I wouldn't be on here talking to y'all. But I'm just kidding. What's the best way to get cash flow in terms of guaranteed money and waivers, insurance company, Medicaid, Medicare, while on getting reimbursed $17 an hour private pay? I just do private pay. If you know me, you know my page. All I do is private pay. I don't play with the waivers. We don't deal with none of that. And I'm not saying you shouldn't. I'm just saying I'm in the market that we can survive based on just private pay, because we're in our market is a wealthier community, so they have the money, and if they don't have, if they're not paying cash like out of their bank account, they're getting reimbursed through long-term care insurance. So either we're always getting paid directly from the families, but there's a lot of cases that when we do get paid from the families, we have to submit our invoices to their long-term care insurance provider so they can get reimbursed. So those are, like, for me, that's guaranteed. That's as guaranteed as I'm gonna get. As far as income, because we just deal with private pay clients. I don't go after waiver programs, because in Maryland they don't pay much. You know what I mean? I think they pay like you said, 17, 18. Like, we're starting off at 18 for like the bare bones service. So y'all, the waiver is not even paying enough to make it even worth our while when it comes to the what they pay for the services that we offer. Do you have a problem with caregivers not wanting to come back because they're getting unemployment for six? Nah, I haven't lost any caregivers. Nobody quit, so I haven't lost any caregivers to unemployment. most of my caregivers have responsibilities, so $600 might not be enough for them to survive off of. So yeah, we haven't lost anybody to unemployment. We haven't lost any caregivers. We're hiring. We're finding more caregivers. We need more caregivers. And there's hours, there's work. So we're not, when it first happened, I called everybody one-on-one. I didn't do like a conference call. I called everybody. Hey, this is what's going on. When he locked down the state, when the governor locked down the state, I called everybody. I explained to them because they was sending me messages. Hey, are we essential? Yes, we're essential. You can go outside because they locked us down. If you weren't even allowed, you can't even be in the street unless you're essential. Unless you're coming and going to go to the grocery store and stuff like that. And it's still like that in Maryland. I think like 2 days ago he opened up parks or something like that. But for the most part, this stuff is always changing. For the most part, everything was locked down, so they was worried. Right after he made that big old thing, they was scared to go out the house. So, I reminded them that we're essential. Families still need us. The families are still going to work because most of our families that we're working for are essential. So we didn't really lose anything. We actually were gaining clients. And I'm excited about that. And but I'm also, moving real careful and strategic and really paying attention to the caregivers that we're on board and their background and just how they talk, how their presentation is. Just really like, you gotta have a lot. You gotta use your sixth sense to be like, man, is this person being smart when they're not at work? And it's a hard thing to do, but just making sure they got the proper PPE while they're at work, and that's it. But I haven't lost any caregivers at all. Victoria. MJ, she said I agree. I don't know what she agreed to, but that's what's up. I don't trust any vaccines. Well, we start going down that road, the no vaccine road. I don't know where we're gonna end up. Somebody said I agree. We will never be normal again, but we have to encourage everyone. Yeah, absolutely. Perishing. That's how I feel. Like, this is the new normal. You just have to adjust, and those who don't will die. And they're going to kill the people that they care about, the people that they spending time around. So it's just it's a matter of life and death. And you can play with it if you want. If you don't believe it, search who died from COVID, and then you'll see how serious it is. Search that in Google. Do you do policies for the state of North Carolina? If so, how much? When we do customized policies and procedures, we don't do them just as policies and procedures no more. That's part of the Done For You program. But we do service North Carolina, Pamela. So, man, every time you call, I miss your call. Somebody, Laquan said, man, every time you call. Did you say you start your caregivers at 18? No, that's the rate that I start the private pay at. That's the cheapest I'm gonna charge a family an hour with a minimum of 20 hours a week. Well, if they're getting 18, they're gonna have to probably get like 30, 35, 40 hours a week, because it's just a low amount. But everything is negotiable at this point, like everything. And it's just a new world. Everything is just different. So I won't turn nothing down at this point. Not right now. So, but that's everybody's question. If you guys got any more questions, I'm here to answer them. But yeah, that's it. How long have I had the business? I've been doing this for about 10 years now. Rise, I've been doing it for like 10 years. Never had no pandemics though. Never had no pandemics. Never been on quarantine. Never even heard these terms outside of like the theater. How have you had? Somebody sending. And we've been taking phone calls. I haven't been personally, but I got somebody on the phone. So, Laquan, you can always call. Usually from like 10 to 5, you know. But y'all gotta understand, there's a lot of people be calling. So we take 20 calls, that might take 2-3 hours, because everybody want to talk. You know, we gotta listen to everybody's whole story. When you're gonna host a home care meet and greet, we can do a home care meet and greet on the line anytime y'all want. But I wish I was planning to do something big in Atlanta this year, but you know, who knows when you're gonna be able to be in the same room with, you know, more than 10 people safely. I know Georgia opened up, and just because they opened up, that made me don't even want to go down there, because I know they're not taking it serious. I got the AC kit and assisted living. Finally got my license. Where do I go from here? Nisha, you got all the slang. I can't hardly understand it. It say you got the HC kit and assisted living. Finally got my LLC. Where do I go from here? It's the next step. I mean, you gotta build your company. You know, you build your brand. You build the things. You know, you present. You. If you got an LLC, you got your license. You create a presence online. Like right now, just focus on creating a presence online and running ads. Learn how to use your website and social media to push your brand. But don't feel like there's nothing else you can do. You can also make calls. You can still introduce yourself to different organizations via phone, email, stuff like that. People are still, they still need clients. I mean, they still need caregivers. So, you know, you just have to figure out different ways to reach out to the community. I'm still putting out signs. I'm running ads on Facebook ads to people 55 and older in my geographic location. We still sending out some mail pieces and stuff like that. We're doing a lot of follow-ups. So like what we do, we spend a lot of energy on following up, especially right now, just checking on families who've called, who got service, and their family members might have passed on, or, you know, however, they not in our, you know, we not servicing them now, or we never serviced them, but they're in our database. We just following up with them now, just trying to check and see if they're okay, how are they making out in this, you know, in this current environment. But the same rules apply, you know, minus whatever restrictions that are in place. You just have to do everything else that you can do. So figuring that out. We have a lot of information on like the podcast and stuff like that. So you can, you know, it's a lot of stuff on there to figure out like the meaningful relationship development is still possible. You can still make, you know, 50 calls a day. You can still send out emails. You can still do stuff. You see what I mean? You can still connect with people in the industry without leaving your office or leaving your home. So that's Nisha. You can still, it's still a lot of work to do. But build your social media, get your website done. Learn about search engine optimization. We got a program where we help you optimize your website. I'm not going to explain all that, what that means, but you can go on AlanChaney.com and check out that. And that's just a tool or a strategy that you could use while you on quarantine or whatever to keep your business going and to continue to bring people into your network, to get people calling your phone. And like I said, we still putting signs out, road signs out, bandit signs. You know, that's my thing. And I probably never stop doing that because it's just so many people, you know, call me from it. So that's what it's work to do. It's always work to do. We moved a new resident in yesterday. Decided to move out today because his wife wanted to put him in a nursing home. Was another way to access without having access to the previous facility. To assess. What is another way to assess without having access to the previous facility? So like if you can't go in, and so if they transferring from their facility to your facility blind, that's a problem. You know, that's a problem because you don't know who you dealing with. You know, you can mess around and get a maniac. Like you gotta figure. You can't. I haven't ran into that yet, and that's a damn good question. With the current state, people not being able to go into these facilities. You know, outsiders aren't allowed to go into the facilities. All I would do is really try to develop some kind of relationship with the administration, and then see if I could talk to his nurse, if I could talk to his caregiver, like everybody who's been working with him probably within the last 2 weeks. I know that's a big ask, but at least ask and see if you can get as much information as possible about this person, especially if they know he's about to leave and he's coming to you. That might, you know, give them some incentive to be like helpful. I mean, if you can't get in there, you can't get in there. I don't really know no other way to get the information on him. And maybe you can get some information from his physician. I mean, again, because you're in the process of bringing them to your facility, you definitely need to have that assessment. Do not take nobody in the blind. You want to get as much information as you can. We've seen that. I've seen it. I've done it. Partners have done it. Brought people in blind, and it's been a nightmare. So don't do that. Hopefully that helps. As it been so that we can let our workers know we are here for them, but this COVID is hitting African Americans very hard. Not healthy and healthy as well. They say the lack of vitamin D, that is the only cause. That is the only one cause. We have to take better care of ourselves. Absolutely. Like, absolutely. We've been, historically been just, hit hard by everything, man. It ain't nothing new as far as like us being, the hardest hit community in America. With everything that happens. When the drugs came in, who got hit the hardest? When the guns started, the gang violence. We didn't invent gangs. They was doing gangs, mafia, and all that way before us. Who get hit the hardest? Who still, dying in the streets? Police brutality, like education, the systematic racism throughout the education and political and justice systems. Like, we are information. And us who have it. And the only thing I would say to that is just, continue to move with that enlightenment. Eat better. Make sure your children are eating better. Make sure your children are exercising every day. Making sure everybody around you in your sphere of influence is doing what they need to do as far as their health, exercise, drinking water, and things of that nature. I'm not like a big marchy dude. I don't want to get out here marching and waving flags and, signs and all that shit. I feel like my responsibility is my sphere of influence. And if everybody would just focus on their sphere of influence, we'll be all okay. But you got these people who be marching and saying all this rhetoric on the internet and all that stuff, but then their whole family is fucked up. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, start at home first. All that stuff starts at home. It starts with the parents. It starts with the family. It starts with the people who you directly have influence over. Because you can't change nobody across the street. You can't expect to have influence in your community or be some kind of leader or organizer in your community, but you have a dysfunctional household. So I feel like, it starts in the home. It starts with the individual, then it goes to the family and your sphere of influence, your friends and family and people who you influence. And it's not, you can't talk them to death. You know what I mean? People want to see you do it. Like I keep telling my kids, hey, work out, work out, work out. They not going to do it if I ain't doing it. They're like, Daddy, you talking, but I got to show them. Look, Daddy sweating, Daddy drinking water, Daddy, eating vegetables, Daddy. Like you have to see, they have to see it. Your spouse, your friends, they have to see it. Everybody talking, but you know what I mean? That shit don't get nothing. That shit don't, it don't do nothing. We need some action. You got to lead by example. It's just leadership. And all those different problems that the black community been facing. But the thing about it, we resilient. They've been trying to get rid of us. They didn't tried everything. This is just, if you look at it, this could be biological, another form of biological warfare to eradicate, African Americans on some level, or weaken the population. I don't know, but we always pull through because we just, we're resilient. We're strong people. But just focus on more so than anything else, your sphere of influence, the people that you care about, and the people who watching you. That's where the focus should be. How do I determine where I charge clients? So I've been doing it for a while, as somebody asked me earlier. So I already know the market out here. So to stay competitive, so if my base rate is 18, other companies' base rate might be 20. So I'm already $2 lower than them at base rates. And then depending on the services they need, then that rate gonna increase. But minimum hours, so you can so, and also the rate increase if you get lesser hours. So if you getting the minimum hours, which is 20 hours a week, you're not getting that for $18. You see what I mean? We're gonna jack up the rate because you only get minimum hours. As you increase hours, we can also lower the rate. So how I would suggest you, as a new person coming into the industry or into the market, is focus on your local market and just do some we call it secret shopping. And you just call all the agencies in your community, in your target marketplace where you're going to be operating at, the competitors, and see what they charging. And you just figure out, what are you charging, how are you charging, what are the just like as if you was trying to get one of your family members or something like that to get services. And they're going to give you everything. They got to. They can't, especially now. They used to want to try to get the consultation before they give you the price. But, I try not to get I try to tell my girls, don't get a price over the phone. But it's hard sometimes because families will be like, all right, well, if you ain't going to tell me the price, so you got to sometimes give it over the phone. But nowadays, like, you got to basically do everything over the phone. And you got to be competitive, and you got to be right the first time, because you don't want to say a number then look desperate trying to come back with a lower number. So secret shop, they're going to give you the prices, and not only are they going to give you the prices, they're going to give you their whole sales process. You're going to see how often they follow up with you. You're going to see what material they sending you. You're going to see what emails they sending you, what they send in their emails. See, like I'm in the corporate espionage, so I'm paying attention to everything. And if you do something to me and I see that if I think it worked, I'm going to take it and do it and put my stuff on it, and we're going to use that strategy. So not just getting the prices when you secret shopping, you can get a lot of other information on like marketing ideas and different things like that, how they pursue you. You could take some of those strategies and ideas and then implement that into your business. Boop, boop. for having me. Oh no, absolutely. Thanks for taking some time to click the button on mine. And I know it's a million trillion other options. Y'all have any more questions before I jump off of here? Thank y'all for tapping in, tuning in. We taking home care. We taking done for you clients. If y'all know Nakia, she also helps manage this page. That's my partner on the AlanChaney.com. So if y'all have any, she's like the best when it comes to like helping people get their businesses set up, licenses and all that stuff throughout the country. So where we have some spaces for the Done For You program, we also have, that's the home care Done For You. We have some spaces available in the assisted living Done For You, because we still getting it done. Real estate is still happening. People are still in need of residential assisted living and independent living. Obviously they're not going to be moving around as much, but they still need people still need places to live and to exist. Also, check out the podcast, the Home Care and Assisted Living Business Series, on YouTube. On Apple Podcasts, and then also Spotify. Spotify. It's on Spotify and Apple. And if you have an Android, you can access it on Spotify. And obviously, you have Apple, you can just go to the podcast app and check it out there. So, yeah, that's it. And if y'all guys don't have any more questions, can I help you get a home in DC? DC is complicated, but we can figure something out. All you gotta do is call us, and we can go into some detail. Thank you, Victoria, for checking in. So yeah, you can check out the podcast. And if you can't find it, like on those things, just go to just Google the Home Care and Assisted Living Business Series podcast. I'm really proud of that podcast, because I feel like I give up a lot of information, and it's like a good way for me to get it out to as many people as possible. So that's why I'm always pushing it. I don't make no money on it or nothing like that. I just, it answers a lot of questions. So if you coming on here to look for certain guidance or information, you go there. Chances are I already covered it. So should definitely check out the podcast, share it with your friends and family. If you really love it, leave a review, especially on Apple. That helps me. Again, I don't make no money off of it, but it puts it higher in the rankings on Apple and stuff like that. And then AlanChaney.com is where all our products and programs are at. So, and then you could call the phone number. The phone number here on the page. I don't have it to memory. I don't know why, but yeah, you could give us a call. I'm sure. I know she's taking calls today for sure. So if you have like specific questions and on things that I didn't address today, or you didn't want to ask, or whatever, or something come up in your head later, you can always shoot us a message. You could give us a call. We got an email, all that stuff. So, or you could text us. Texas, you'll probably get a response quicker on text, because we don't have to stop what we're doing if we're in a conversation or something. You know what it is. So that's it. I'm gonna jump off of here. Okay, let me see. How much is your assisted living information? So the starter kit is $197. That's it, and it's dope. It's the best thing you're gonna get. It's the best thing on the internet when it comes to and it's the only thing on the internet for $197. For the information I'm giving you for $197, you're gonna have to pay $3,000 minimum from everybody else on the internet, and that's just what it is. That's just how it is. So, and then we got a Done For You program. That's a little bit more expensive, because we walking you through the whole entire process with your state licensing, and if you don't got no property, we're helping you with the realtor, with the mortgage company, with the realtor. If you leasing, we work with the landlord. So it's a lot more detailed of a program. But all our information on everything is on AlanChaney.com. I'm gonna post it right here. Then I'm jumping off because I'm hungry and I'm about to order some Chipotle. Thank y'all for joining, and I'm gonna put the thing in here too, podcast. Okay. It's called the Home and Business Series. Yeah. Yes, sir. That's it. So, thanks for checking in today. And on days like this, when I'm just sitting out, I try to remember to, hit the live button and chat it up with y'all. So, thanks for hanging out with me, and I'm gone. Peace.